Become an outlier. I want to remind you today that it is possible for you to excel way past all of your peers and become an outlier. Too many times we will set our standards relative to what we see around us, not relative to what would make us be proud, relative to what we think would be awesome to accomplish. We get too bogged down with these ideas of what is and isn't possible. I'm only gonna set a goal that's realistic. But if you really want to be iconoclastic, if you really want to become, your own class, then you have to set your own standards. You have to take, if anything, if you look at what other people are doing, the average folk, if you look at the average of what people are doing, you have to then ask yourself, how can I then do 100 times that? And you'll come up with some very interesting answers. And what I've noticed is that it's important to actually set a metric that high, of times 100, because the reality is that most people on average are incredibly lazy and are incredibly mediocre. The amount of action you can take is way higher than you can ever imagine. You don't even know how focused you can be, or how productive, or how industrious you can be. You don't even know your own capabilities to be disciplined. Most of us haven't even had the opportunity to have a real experience of being disciplined, to really show ourselves that it is within us, that it is possible. This is why something like Navy SEAL training or just military training can help so much with personal discovery. When you're put in an environment where you have to perform, then you will find new parts of yourself that you never knew existed. I remember it wasn't military, but it was a job I worked where the situation was that I was earning by commission, and it was labor, and it was washing windows. And I remember, if you didn't work really hard, you would have actually been paid less than minimum wage. And I was 8 hours away from home, an 8-hour drive away from home. And I was going to be there for at least a month, unless I just wanted to drive all the way back home and quit. But I stuck in there, and I made a decision that day, where I said, you know what, I'm just going to use this as an opportunity to learn how to work hard. And I taught myself just how hard I could work. It was incredible. And so, my point here is, sometimes we need an experience to show us what we are capable of. Sometimes we need some outside pressures, some outside survival pressures to show us what we're made of. We don't really truly put our effort in unless our life is on the line, or unless it's really serious, when it comes to earning money or your survival, right? And so Consider, if you want to really learn how to push yourself into an outlier, surround yourself with a bunch of other outliers. Surround yourself with a bunch of other people that have this higher standard. That's why having, a superior mastermind group can help. Hold on. Whatever it is, have the courage to create an environment to even allow yourself to have that experience. But just shy of that, remember that you know deep down when you put in your all and when you don't. If you're really honest with yourself, 99% of the time, you are not giving it your best effort. Even just saying that makes me think about how I'm speaking right now. Like, I can do better. Very rarely will we reach moments that we are exercising our ideal. And that's good, because our ideal should be set so high that it's barely attainable, because that's what allows us to grow, and that's what allows us to become an outlier in the first place. We must learn that we don't even know what our potential is. We don't even know how far we can go. It's kind of funny when I think about being disciplined. I remember I would like to create catalyst experiences for people sometimes, where I tell them, like, hey, I want to commission you to have the perfect day, where I will say, all right, look, we'll list out the conditions. We'll list out like what time you have to wake up, when do you have to do your workout, and how hard you have to do your workout, how much you have to study, and how much you have to focus, and how much you have to follow your schedule. What would be a perfect day for you? Not only a perfect day of work, but also scheduling in that leisure. Actually make it the perfect day. And also finishing it off with going to bed on time. And my challenge to people was, if you can make tomorrow a perfect day, then I'll give you $20. So now, like, there's a value behind it now. There's an additional motivation behind it. You shouldn't need it, but just having that catalyst of $20 helps us step into that empowering moment, into that powering mindset. And so the conditions are like, I'll give you the $20, and if you execute the perfect day, and you did, that's the thing, if you did, then you get to keep it. But if you knew you could do better, if you knew you could put more effort in, then you give the $20 back. And so maybe consider that, or do it for yourself, where you give someone else $20 or whatever, and if you do the perfect day, you get your 20 back, or if you don't, you lose it, right? That kind of thing. But regardless, I just want this video to be a serious reminder for you that whatever level you're operating at right now, you can quite likely, easily 10x it, whether it's like your effort, your vigor in it, the attitude, you're changing your positive self-talk, how happy you feel, how scheduled you are, how much you get done, right? There's different ways to tweak your productivity. There's different ways to tweak small things you can do. There's small things you can do to help your performance here and there that will add up to a huge result. So just finishing it off, you have the power to do more. You have the power to exercise a higher level of self-mastery. It's within you. It's just a matter of whether or not you have the courage to bring that individual out. So with that, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.